Oh no, I've been caught with my pants down. Good thing for our sponsor, MeUndies. Otherwise, you'd be looking at my and I'm pretty sure that's a crime. MeUndies is my favorite way to cover my genitals. They're soft and breathable, and they've got a cut for every butt. Their wonderful ball caddy supports me where I need it most. And I like the fact that they come in so many different designs. Mine's got dinosaurs on them. What does yours have? So slide into game-changing comfort with MeUndies. Support the show by going to MeUndies.com/4starbento and using my code 4starbento to get 20% off your first order plus free shipping. So thank you again, MeUndies, for making sure I'm not committing a felony on camera. And now on to...
Welcome back to the Talkcast Podshow, where this week you're getting 2 discussions on things for the price of 1, and since it's already free, that means you're getting like twice the infinite value. So,
is that how that works?
I mean, if you're not paying anything and just get like 2 things instead of 1, I mean, 2 times infinity, I guess, is still infinity, but...
I'm sure there's some like illogical number bullshit that we could talk about, but...
I'm not a mathematician.
Neither am I.
Either way, lots going down, lots happening. My background looks a little different right now because just finished doing nothing but playing Dungeons and Dragons for about 2 weeks straight as Quinn, Stefan, Jesse, and I just recorded a bunch more Tales Unwritten, which now has its own YouTube channel, which you can check out if you like role-playing games and all that fun stuff. The twist we add to it is we edit down a lot of the needless conversation and just kind of try to push through a streamlined story. Stefan does a bunch of art and music. Worth checking out if you like fantasy RPG style podcasty content.
And my background is different because I'm in San Diego right now using another friend's computer. So hey,
that's nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, for 2 whole weeks we had Quinn in town. It was a lot of fun. Went out to show him some of the sights around here. Dragged him to an improv show we were in, so we got to experience that part of LA life. You know, you have to go to a friend's improv show and roll your eyes for about half an hour.
I was about to say, you gave him the real LA treatment.
You have to give him the real LA treatment by dragging him to an experimental show you're a part of. It's a thing. You got to do it. But more importantly, we saw 2 movies that we're going to talk about here today.
Yes.
We saw Sinners. And we saw the Thunderbolts.
I wonder which one was the better movie.
You say which one's the better, but I still enjoyed both as a short spoiler for the conversation to be.
Damn, I can't believe you just gave it away like that.
I give it away for free. Just like all this. Everything's free.
Unless you give it to our Patreon, which technically you're helping support us, so thank you.
Yeah, the voluntary donations are always appreciated. But before we get to those, let's break down a little bit of things that we may talk about later, we might not, but just don't have a full scope on. Let's talk the rundown. Kaiser, how much game, like, you've been gaming much lately? Playing any video games?
Weirdly enough, I've actually been playing Talos Principle.
Yeah, the big old puzzle game?
Yeah, the second one came out not too long ago, and they just released the remaster not too long ago, so I'm playing through that because my friend Yam was like, you have to play 2. It's even better than the first one. So I've been really enjoying it. It took me a minute to wrap my head around all of its mechanics, but once I got that down, it's been a fantastic game.
Yeah, it's kind of like New Age, like Myst, right? Where a lot of it's very, like, puzzle focused.
It kind of, I wouldn't exactly compare it to Myst, but it does have some elements that, like, it's just kind of puzzles with lasers and switches, and it's fun. I think if you're into puzzle games, you'll definitely get a kick out of this one. Nice.
Yeah, I've been keeping my eye on one that I probably am not going to have a whole lot of time to play, called Clair Obscure Expedition 33, or sorry, Clair Obscure Expedition 33. 33, something like that.
I have no idea.
They're a French dev, but they, I guess, created one of the best RPGs since, I guess at this point, Baldur's Gate 3. But it mixes some of that old Final Fantasy style turn-based with, like, I guess some Dark Souls elements with the time active elements where, like, you're reacting to things that are happening in combat.
I've been hearing people compare it in terms of combat, like an evolved version of Earthbound.
Yeah.
Which I find very interesting. Which I then on Blue Sky said, so it's giving Mother.
It gives Mother. Yeah, it looks really cool. I have not had a chance to play it, but it's been like popping off. And I'm really happy about this because like a lot of more indie / smaller dev teams are starting to get some like real shine out there. First of all, you had like Balatro last year, which like came yay close to winning Game of the Year. Freaking Schedule 1 is one of like the biggest selling games right now.
I don't know.
Repo.
I still don't know if that game is actually good or if everyone's just playing it, because Schedule 1 looks so, how do I put this? It looks
unfinished.
It looks unfinished, but everyone says it's actually like really deep and fun, and I think I might have to give it a try because at first I was put off by it visually, but yeah, a lot of people seem to really like it.
I think it's one of those things that like the indie jankness is kind of part of its charm. Like think about Minecraft when it first came out way back in the day. It was nothing but like stacking blocks and building houses out of trees that you punched.
Yeah.
But then it grew into something big and beautiful, and I don't think that's where Schedule 1's going, but it's clear that the dev is going to continue to support it because goddamn, guys making stacks on stacks on stacks from this game. So
it seems like it. Like,
yeah.
And you know, for me, I'm all about just. I love when these smaller games from independent like studios just pop the hell off. It always makes me really happy because I have been so very frustrated and so disappointed with the AAA industry that just watching smaller studios pick up the slack has made me very happy.
It's always nice to see them like come from behind and still like make an impact and kind of win at the end of the day. It's nice seeing that when you have all these massive studios that are just bloated, and anytime they release a game, they immediately fire like 90% of the people that made the game that they are selling. It's good to see these companies that are smaller that are able to kind of like hold together and actually kind of build something and move forward so they can one day become the behemoths that fire 90% of their staff as well.
Yeah.
It's great watching them grow so they can eventually disappoint.
Hey, you know what they say, you either die a hero or become Electronic Arts.
Yeah. Don't hear like that much negative press about EA these days, but it's only a matter of time. I mean, Ubisoft and
yeah, I guess I could have.
All these other companies have been eating the controversy lunch for a minute.
Yeah, I guess I could have done Ubisoft
or Activision Blizzard, whatever.
Yeah, which
yeah, no, it's only a matter of time before EA pops its head back up.
Yeah, they always do.
They always do. It's like whack-a-mole with corporations.
But yeah.
Speaking of Schedule 1, I did finally get around to watching, I say finally, it like came out yesterday, but the GTA 6 release trailer, which, you know, little sad we aren't going to be getting it this fall. Now coming out May 2026, supposedly. Trailer looks good, man. Trailer looks so damn good.
Was there a rumor, or had they said it was supposed to come out in fall of this year before?
I feel like, I don't know whether it was announced that, like, I think they announced, like, Take-Two Interactive announced that it was going to be coming out, you know, holiday 2025. But then, like, a couple weeks back, or about a week or so back, time moves fucking weird. They were just like, nope, May 2026. I guess they had some things that they want to polish, which makes sense. You have so many games these days that are released in such an unfinished state that you kind of want to polish out whatever bugs you can. And that game, knowing Rockstar and their pedigree, is going to be goddamn massive.
And they have... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and there's just no rush for it. Like, people are still playing GTA Online, and people are going to wait for this game. And once the game comes out, it's going to do well. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no question at this point.
Yeah, it's going to come out. It's going to cost $150, and everybody's going to be like, yes, please, yes, please. And then Nintendo's going to be like, aha, now we're going to charge you $130 for Donkey Kong.
I suspect that the game is probably going to be about $80 plain, but to get online, it's probably going to cost extra.
Oh, you think that they're going to? I mean, you already have to pay an online fee if you're playing on console anyway to play on like PlayStation Online or Xbox Live. So you think GTA itself is going to set up a subscription service to play online?
Possibly, because at this point, GTA Online is still insanely popular. Like,
oh yeah, it killed Red Dead 2. Like it was so good that Red Dead 2 never had a chance to take off online.
It's wild to me. I've never actually I've played it like once or twice. It was too chaotic, and I opted the fuck out. So all the people still playing that game and still doing good in it, they're a different breed than I am. I recognize that.
The role-playing servers are always hilarious to me, and there's actually a freaking movie out there of somebody who decided to just do the play of Hamlet, but casting people that they meet online in GTA Online, and they just like do Hamlet via machinima in GTA Online. Like, there's a documentary out there somewhere. I haven't seen it, but I saw the trailer for it, and it looks amusing. Like, it was actually getting laurels at film festivals for the shit that they were pulling off with it. Like,
that's
mind-blowing.
Fascinating.
Right?
I have to give it to I have to give it to these fan bases. They do some crazy, wild, awesome shit. Mm-hmm. Again, different breed, man.
Like, I mean, we come from a background of fan productions. We know that kind of shit.
Yeah, honestly, sometimes it makes me a little bit frustrated that I never got more into the gaming space and like working inside that sphere, because every once in a while I'll see the coolest stuff going on in machinima and utilizing models, and it's incredible the stuff that they do. Like the time, the effort. It's such a time sink.
Yeah, it's crazy the kind of stuff that like goes into these kind of things. But I don't think they'll charge like an online pass fee to play GTA 6, because a vast majority of the reason that GTA Online makes all of its money is just by selling currency, selling shark cards.
Yeah. Well,
so I'm sure they'll stick with that model, absolutely, because that's like I think it was like I can't remember what it was reported, but it was like hundreds of millions every quarter on that shit.
I suspect that the game is going to be no more than $80, but I don't think it'll be any less than $80. If it is, then I'll be blown away, because
of course you'll have your like deluxe edition, your ultimate edition, your Grand Theft Auto corporate blah 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 fuck you edition.
Yeah, no, you're gonna like the best edition for that is gonna be probably like $200. Just wait.
Like, this seems like the type of game that's going to try to have like the biggest ultimate pack where they like sell you one that comes with a fucking car or something.
That would be. Oh, hold on. Okay, I hope they do that. I want there to be the ultimate,
the $120,000 edition or something.
Yeah, and the car is actually like a pretty decent car,
modeled after one of the in-game cars or something.
Yeah, I hope that. Honestly, that would be such a Rockstar move. Which / derogatory.
Yeah. But hey, got a whole other ass year to wait for this game. In the meanwhile, waiting on Doom, and I guess Elden Ring Night Rain also comes out this month. So.
Oh my God, does it?
Yeah. End of the month.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't even know about that game until this month. I'm not kidding. I'm so like separated from all the FromSoft stuff. I started playing through Elden Ring, and I'm like a couple hours into it. So when I heard that, by the way, they're releasing a completely standalone and like multiplayer game,
basically,
my mind was blown. I saw the trailers, and it's not that expensive, and I kind of want to do it. Kind of want to play it.
Well, we'll have to consider that when it drops later on in the month, I suppose.
Yeah.
Maybe TFS Gaming isn't dead. Who knows?
Remember when we're going to try and do more Marvel Rivals?
I do. I have not been able to play that game for the past 2 weeks, and I think that kind of like nipped my little addiction in the butt.
Yeah,
like I still enjoy the game, but there's also been this controversy where like I guess the support players have been feeling a bit antsy because one of the larger streamers was like, support's kind of worthless. So a lot of the support players are like, fuck you, then you play it. So the entire like ranked system of it is like really, really toxic. I'm talking like League of Legends toxic right now.
Ah, that sucks.
Yeah, a bit.
I mean,
But hey,
that's why
it'll probably come back around.
that's kind of why like I don't play a lot of ranked when I play, and I'm mostly in casuals. So, and for the most part, it doesn't seem like people give that much of a shit in casuals.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, but speaking of Marvel, Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolt. So okay,
Thunderbolts.
Yeah, I'm glad we're starting with Thunderbolts because I would rather like ramp up.
I figured you'd have less to say about this. Like you, like many people, I also feel the Marvel fatigue. But I was pleasantly surprised with this one. I had been hearing good things, hearing good buzz, and going into it, still kept my expectations relatively low. But I was pleasantly surprised when I came out. I really enjoyed this one. It was the first Marvel movie to have like an actual emotional core in a long while.
I can't say I was surprised because I'd heard a lot of the good buzz early on. And so I kind of went into it going like, okay, it's probably going to be good. Not great, not amazing, but good. And yeah, generally, it's good. That's kind of how I feel about it. It's good.
I'd say it's up there with like, you know, in terms of post-Endgame stuff, I'd say it's up there with like Guardians 3. And I personally would. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I'll say this. It's like, for me, Guardians 3 is kind of like an 8.5, 9 at its best. Like, its best moments are like a 9 out of 10 for me. The best moments in Thunderbolts are like an 8 for me. Maybe an 8.5.
For you, that's still good, so I'll take it.
Yeah. Because the thing for me is that and to its credit, Guardians had several movies to make me wholly invested in these specific
actually build
characters.
on these characters.
Yeah, and so by the time we got to 3, and we have this whole story with Rocket and the tragedy that is Gamora and Peter, and the character, like basically where the character of Drax goes, all that stuff kind of felt like, okay, this is a wholly emotionally substantive and satisfying ending, whereas with Thunderbolts, we're kind of getting started with this particular group. Sure,
a bit, yeah. This is one of those movies where you had to watch a lot of the things that nobody really cared about. You had to watch Ant-Man and Wasp. And remember Ant-Man and Wasp. You had to watch the Black Widow movie. You had to watch the Hawkeye series, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and you have to remember all of these things.
Actually, I don't know if you needed to watch the Hawkeye series, to be completely honest.
Yelena is first really introduced in that. I mean, granted, you could just watch the Black Widow movie.
No. Yelena is first introduced in the Black Widow movie.
Okay, I forget in which order those two came out, but she's a character in that, and it's helpful for knowing her.
Okay, so it's helpful in getting to like spend more time with her, but if I had to be honest, you could not watch Hawkeye at all, and going like the only thing that would be a little bit weird is that you go from Black Widow, where at the very end we find out that she's going after Clint, and then, you know, if you went from Black Widow to this movie, you'd be like, well, whatever happened with Hawkeye? Yeah. Where that's the only thing I think you're missing, because all the stuff in Hawkeye, there's not a whole lot of character development that plays into this particular movie. Not that it's bad. I liked Hawkeye. Like, to be completely clear, I actually like that show. Heather Steinfeld is fucking amazing. But speaking of, by the way, you mentioned Wasp. I literally forgot.
Oh, you forgot Ghost existed?
I forgot Ghost. I thought she was introduced in this movie. I'm not kidding. I watched the entire thing and I'm like, wow, they barely covered her. Why?
She was the vigilante, or not vigilante. She was the kind of the antagonistic force in Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yeah. And I don't want to go too much into Taskmaster because I'd like to kind of keep.
Well, the movie certainly doesn't. But
no. Yeah. I want to keep this mostly spoiler free. Wow, y'all. Okay.
Yeah.
But I completely forgot that Ghost was a thing. Like everything else, I remembered. I was able to like keep track with everyone else.
Yeah, you remember Walker. You remember
Yelena, the Red Guardian.
The Red Guardian.
Yeah, we obviously Bucky. So all those guys, totally fine.
Yeah, Senator Bucky Barnes or Congressman Bucky Barnes.
Yeah, Congressman. Which, by the way, why is he a congressman? What is the story? Why did they do this? I do not like. they could have done any way to get him in a room with LaFontaine's assistant, and that's what they did. I don't get it. It's so weird. I mean,
it's fine though. It's fine.
It's like, it's not dumb or offensive. It's just weird.
Is he still a congressman at the end of the movie? Or did he have to drop out for what happens?
You know what? I have no idea. Like that's a good
they don't
question.
really dip into that.
Yeah. But as far as the movie's quality goes, I will say it definitely accomplishes a lot that a lot of the other movies have kind of been fumbling. We have not only these very personal emotional stakes for a lot of its characters, we also have themes, we have character development.
Yeah, you have a Marvel movie that's about midlife crisis and depression.
Yeah, the fact that this whole movie is just about the depression, ennui, belonging. Like, the movie made me sympathetic towards Walker. I don't like him by the end of the movie, but I like him as a character.
Yeah, it makes you understand him a bit more, even though he's still an asshole.
Yeah, he's still just the biggest cunt. But I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that I don't hate the character. I don't hate him as a character, rather. I may not like him, but I appreciate who he is in the scenario, the story that they have to tell with him. That's great. And I'm so glad that they did that. And the way that they do that with our villain is very cool. I thought that was such a cool idea.
Are you talking about Julia Louis-Dreyfus as the villain or the quote-unquote villain?
So at this point, I do think, like, look, so we can go into spoilers if anybody's worried about spoilers before we go into that.
I think anybody by this point knows about the Void.
Yeah. So, the moment I heard that Sentry was going to be in this movie, I was like really, I was excited but also nervous. Because Sentry is a weird character in the comics where you could do him right and you can do him wrong. Here, I feel like they kind of they took some points from the original story, which, by the way, I know nothing about Sentry's origin in Marvel Comics. I just know that he's kind of Marvel's Superman. Yeah, kind of. In terms of his power and design, he's supposed to sort of be a Superman type. Yeah, this sort of omnipotent, all-powerful Ubermensch, basically. Yeah, and I was really nervous, but the way that they handle him here, besides some of the stuff early on, I do feel like it takes a while to get started properly. But by the time we're into that story with him and we see what's going on with him, it just got more and more interesting for me. I really like his story because, again, very personal stakes. This is all about this person who feels like he shouldn't even be alive, basically. He's been so depressed and so despondent. He's a drug user, an ex-drug user. He's kind of just, he at the end, he basically, or not the end, but early on in the first act, the first act ends with him trying to basically get himself killed just to save the others. And I thought that was so interesting because you don't see a lot of characters like that in these movies. And frankly, in comic books, and I hate to say this, comic books have a very, very bad history of handling mental illness. To watch this movie tackle it in a meaningful and empathetic way, I was like, oh, damn, okay. Okay. And that's where I think it was kind of brilliant to put Yelena, played by Florence Pugh, kind of in the main role there, because she has been a phenomenal actress. The first time I ever recognized her was in Midsommar, and then everything else I've seen her in is just like, okay, this, she is going places. This girl has as much of a career as she fucking wants. She is fantastic. She was the best part of Black Widow, and it's not even close. And the dynamic she has with David Harbour is fucking gorgeous, beautiful. That emotional little scene where she's breaking down in front of him for the first time and actually just finally lets her emotions out. The touching father-daughter scene they had there's I know I was not there, but I'm late, but I'm here now. And then she finally just breaks down and calls him Papa. And it's oh my God. I haven't felt that in a movie. I'm seeing you motherfucker tearing up right now. See? This movie had heart. I haven't felt like that in a Marvel movie since Guardians 3. Yeah. And the only thing that got in the way for me, and this was something like I just sort of had to deal with, and it might have been a problem for some people, was that because you had to consume all of this other stuff to get here, there was a part of me that was like, okay, I hope I have everything straight. I hope I remember everything that goes into these characters, because the movie gives you a little bit to go off of, but it's not a lot. So,
well, I think it makes up for that. Like, first of all, I think all of the emotional beats that it hits, they're good. But it also makes up for like any lacking in that with some very good action. I remember sitting in the theater, and that opening scene, that top-down view where they just did a prolonged take of the stunt actors just going through their routine for like about 45 seconds to a minute and a half. Fucking great. Then they had like a really fun car chase scene. They had the escape room segment where, you know, they all have to kind of like work together to figure out how to get out of this death trap, which I kind of was hoping would be a longer portion of the movie. I like this idea of this ragtag group of characters having to get out of this like hypercube kind of scenario.
if I had to be honest with you, I thought that dragged so.
Really? I liked that scenario.
Yeah.
But, you know, the way it resolved was good. Like the comedy for the first time since Guardians 3 also kind of hit for me in all these in the right places too.
Yeah, the comedy in this movie is effective from beginning to end. And I say this as somebody, and I know, so I get pushback on this whenever I say it. I hated Red Guardian and Black Widow. I actually just hated him there. Primarily because a lot of that movie didn't feel like it should have been a comedy to me. A lot of that movie was like, wait a second, this is supposed to be this big spy thriller story, and you have this fucking clown here. This movie felt like not only did they tone him down accordingly, like well enough to where he's not too over the top, but also the tone of this movie is kind of perfect for that character. So when Red Guardian is in this movie, I'm actually way more on board. I'm way more welcoming with him. He's hitting all the right notes. Even I thought I was gonna be like annoyed by the whole limo thing. And as it turns out, I'm like, you know what? No, I'm totally okay with this. This works.
Yeah, like, and his just desire to be seen and loved again, really living out his like 3/4 life crisis here.
Yeah.
And God, I don't know. There are a lot of beats in this movie that just fucking slap. All the way up.
Sorry, one thing I do want to say about like great action. My favorite action scene in the entire damn thing is that fight inside the death trap, where they're like after each other. Yeah, where it just they keep switching off opponents. The fight just keeps escalating.
Yeah, I'm here to kill you. I'm here to kill them. You're here to kill me.
All these amazing like. Also, I have to give it to this movie because they did something that I'm begging more action movies to do. They minimized the cuts. I don't need one takes. Okay, there is I think there's at least 2 one takes in this movie. I can't remember.
Like I said, that one overhead shot, which was just like a prolonged like working through a hallway.
Yeah, I can't remember though if I don't think the fight in the death trap is a one take.
But there are, like you said, kind of prolonged camera shifting moments before it cuts to another part. Everything moving forward up until the main threat is established in Century. I even really like that fight scene too, where they're going up against this like insurmountable force and just kind of being whipped around. And if he wasn't just fucking with them, if he actually wanted them gone, they'd be gone, you know?
Yeah, and that whole fight scene is really cool looking. Unfortunately, it does kind of just play into like it's a bunch of cool choreography with a dude who's just standing there, which is still fine. It is absolutely the scene that needed to be a one take, because that did make it look more impressive as you just watch him go through all of them. I did love that. That was some good stuff.
I did feel really bad for Ghost because she's the only one there with like real powers that weren't just like a super soldier kind of thing. But they all, no matter where she went, they always had that like that sonic cannon that just canceled out her powers. It's like womp womp. It was giving Inuyasha with the bugs, you know.
A little bit, yeah. It's giving Inuyasha. It's giving oh gosh, basically any series where a character has a power that would otherwise win, where they just introduce something where it's like, nope, you can't use it here.
Not allowed. Sorry. This is no fly zone. can't shoot a portal onto that thing. It's not covered in moon rocks, like kind of deal.
Right. But yeah, the action's good. The comedy is good. There's a lot of great beats. There was
my favorite beat, I think, is right after Void is introduced, and you have everybody trying to, like, you know, save the citizens down below, and all of a sudden, like, you think everything's going good. It's like, but then, whoosh.
Yeah, because you have Red Guardian.
I'm saying that in a way that's going to, like, try to give you, like, the least amount of spoilers from that moment, because that was like a oh fuck kind of moment there.
When I saw that, the entire audience went, "Ho!"
Yeah. And it's been a while since I've had that in a movie theater.
Yeah. Kudos to them for setting that up precisely like they needed to. Because when I saw that happen, I was like, I wonder why the scene's going this way. Didn't we just have oh
no.
Yeah.
And then you realize the way to defeat him is literally just helping him overcome his trauma by going through rooms of your worst decisions.
I mean, if we're trying to avoid spoilers,
whatever. That at this point, I'm trying not to spoil, like, the big things. This is I don't think is as much of a big thing, because you're dealing with, like, the way you resolve this threat feels kind of obvious.
Yeah, I genuinely liked this movie quite a bit. For me, it still has some issues. It does feel like there are still some places where how do I put this? The tone of the movie has some trouble at times. One of the scenes especially that sort of bothered me was how they played out that conversation between Sentry and what's her name?
Yelena?
No, Desfontaine.
Oh.
Because there's that scene where they're talking, and it felt like it was kind of just a casual talking scene, and I'm like, okay, this feels like it should be a little bit more dramatic here. Like, this feels like this is not a scene where you want, like, comedy and kind of casual talk, because it leads into the big threat. And the movie did have some trouble finding striking the balance with its tone here and there, not throughout. That was just one of those moments where I'm like, this feels like it might have been a reshoot or something, or they just didn't plan this part out very well. But
I mean, if you think about where we are in, like, think back like 5 years or so to the proposed MCU timeline. This is when we were supposed to be getting that Kang Dynasty movie.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so not only did COVID switch up a lot of things, but real life kind of changed up things, and they decided, okay, you know what, maybe we'll just bring back Robert Downey Jr. and let's throw the Fantastic Four in here. And by the way, totally called the like, before the other trailer dropped, I totally called that Sue Storm was pregnant.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in a Talkcast, by the way. Go back to the last time we talked about Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's actually pretty neat. I didn't realize. Yeah, Fantastic Four. That might be the first. That might be the. How do I say this? I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually, like, with Thunderbolts, I was like, that could be good. Fantastic Four, I'm actually excited. I want this movie to be good so bad. It's got a lot of great people attached to it. It's got a fantastic composer who is already showing off in the trailers. I like this premise. I'm hoping it's good.
What's interesting to me is it's looking less like it's going to be your standard traditional superhero movie and more going to be something almost like kind of like an apocalypse movie almost. Like, Reed is just trying to research to figure out how to save the world from an insurmountable threat. And it's going to be mostly the drama of him trying to figure this shit out while trying to keep his family, safe. I feel like that's going to be the heart of this movie. And yeah, Fantastic Four is definitely going to be a make or break moment for Marvel for, like, the next 5 years, I think.
Yeah. I mean, luckily this movie is doing very well. It's scoring really well. I actually haven't checked whether or not it's doing well at the box office, but I haven't heard, like, any negative stuff on that front. So I guess no news is good news.
Yeah.
If Thunderbolts is doing well, and if Final Fantasy, if Fantastic Four does well, that's a good sign. I'm still not looking forward at all to the next Avengers movie, and I mean not at all.
The Doomsday.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an overstuffed mess, full of a bunch of stuff that, like, most people aren't going to get because they haven't watched a lot of the things it's going to reference. And I think bringing back Robert Downey Jr. is the lamest thing they've ever done.
They're really gonna have to prove a lot when it comes to that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, as of right now, it looks like Thunderbolts has brought in about $15 million domestically over what they projected for. Yeah, worldwide they've pulled in about 173 million, I think, something like that.
What do we know the budget on this movie?
Oh, I got no fucking clue.
Well, I hope it does well. I genuinely do, because I did have a good time with this one. I would love to see it help set a precedent of, hey, make good movie, get good profit. That's all I want. That's all I want.
Yeah, throw good directors and a good crew at your movie. Just kind of let them play with it, because this one was kind of a breath of fresh air in the regards of like just how it kind of felt overall.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you had, directors in the past like James Gunn, who's now moved on to like head DC, and Ryan Coogler, who Sinners.
Yes. Wait, hold on. Before we get into that, I can't wait for the James Gunn Superman movie. I'm so damn excited. I need to be good.
And they just dropped the trailer for Peacemaker Season 2 as well. So.
Oh crap! I didn't know that. Okay, I gotta watch that later.
Yeah, just dropped that trailer.
Yeah, sorry to cut into your amazing segue.
No worries. I'm pretty good at segues. But either way, Thunderbolts, I give it thumbs up. Definitely worth a watch. Whether it's on streaming or in theaters, I don't think you're missing a lot if you don't see it in theaters. This is definitely something you can consume on the couch. Sinners, on the other hand.
See this bitch in IMAX, and I am not kidding. They're bringing it back to IMAX. See this shit in IMAX.
It's back in IMAX this week only, I believe. So I don't know if this Talkcast will be out in time. But hey, if you got a chance to see it in IMAX, do try. My priority was on seeing it with the best sound system possible, because holy shit, this movie and its soundtrack just fucking slap, man. I was not expecting this to be a quasi musical.
It's I don't know if I'd call it a quasi musical, but definitely the music is a huge part of this movie. I was not expecting that either. When I was going into this movie, I was basically told it's Black Dust Till Dawn, set in I think the when was
1930s,
that?
Early 1930s.
Early 1930s, which I was like, okay, that's fascinating. And while that is in a very simple sense kind of true, it's so much more than that. It is infinitely more than that.
Yeah, you got Michael A. Jordan and Michael B. Jordan coming in here as Smoke and Stack.
But oh my God, Michael B. Jordan in this movie, I forgot he played both brothers because he was so phenomenal at it. I was blown away.
He was very good. I went and saw this with Jesse and Stefan. And after the movie, Jesse admitted, I spent so much time trying to figure out who the other brother was. I was trying to be like, which one was Michael B. Jordan? And it turns out it was both of them.
Michael B. Jordan is a fucking god.
He's fucking great in this.
Yo.
Also, a big shout out to Miles Canton, I believe, who played Preacher Boy. His first ever role.
Yeah, apparently.
Mm-hmm. And he's the heart of this movie.
It's so perfect for him too, because even if he's not the best actor, he's put in a place where he's supposed to feel sort of uncomfortable and sort of out of his depth, but he does it so well. And when he has to deliver, when he has to give it his all, he nails it. Like holy shit. Like the first time he started singing, my face was exactly the same as I think was it Stack or Smoke?
That was Smoke.
Yeah, Smoke's face and my face were exactly.
No. It was Stack. It was Stack in the car.
Stack's face and mine exactly the same. I was just holy shit.
Yeah. I loved that moment in the theater where he just kind of like starts playing while they're driving down the road. Michael B. Jordan's like, whoa!
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. Like that's so real. This movie, like goddamn, the emotion, the soul it kind of pulls out of all of its characters is so fucking good. Yeah, holy shit. And I love a good period piece too. So
yeah, I like when it comes to period pieces, I'm sort of here or there on them. There's so much going on with all of its characters. Some of it subtle, some of it not subtle. And just the relationships between these people, Like, it is a movie that is very steeped in the relationships between people, and I loved that. It felt, God, just the scene in the store, both the stores, actually. There's 2 scenes in 2 stores, but specifically, I think it's the one with... Shoot, I feel bad that I can't remember which one was Smoke and Stack, but
Smoke was the one that was kind of more reasonable. He had kind of like, he was more down to earth. He was the one with the estranged wife, and Stack was the more impulsive, business minded, kind of headstrong, ready to pull the trigger one.
Yeah, Smoke. Okay, yeah, the scene with Smoke and his estranged wife. Oh my God, that. Like, just the way that it develops, the way that it ends, it's just so rich. And oh my God, I don't want to go. I feel like I want to go into the spoilers for this movie, but if people watching this haven't seen it, good Lord, it's phenomenal. And just the first time that scene, the first time he plays at the
Juke.
At the Juke,
Well, that's like the tent pole of the movie. That scene is just like it's tantamount to like everything that the opening narration kind of plays at, where like, you know, when you're playing music straight from your soul, some people have that like that deep down in them, they can like transcend time and space, and that remix that they pull out of it, pulling like way back down through like a cultural history of music, is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. I was blown away while I was watching that. It's a religious experience, because at first I was kind of caught off guard. I'm like, where are they going with this? But then it just built and built and built, and by the time it was done, I needed a fucking cigarette. Oh my God.
And then the vampires finally show up. And
yeah, by the way, this is a vampire movie.
Yeah, which it's really only the third act, like almost like an hour and a half into this movie is when like the vampire, like hour something into this movie is when the vampire shit really starts kicking off.
Yeah, you start saying it at the beginning of the, I think either like near the end of the first act is when you start to see them and their story starts.
Yeah.
But it isn't until like halfway through the second act that really kicks off.
Mm-hmm. But I love that they kind of show up directly, like in this juxtaposition, because it's directly after that fucking barn burner of a song, literal barn burner of a song.
Yeah.
And they show up playing this very twangy, boppy sort of like pick that rabbit clean song, and it's just like, you know what? It doesn't sound bad, but you can definitely see which song really had actual soul and emotion in it, and which one's just like twing twangy twing twang, you know.
Yeah, and that's a really good comparison. And I just want to go into more and more and more because it's just so phenomenal. And Michael B. Jordan kills it. What was the name of the guitar player?
You mean Preacher Boy?
Yeah, Preacher Boy.
Miles Catton.
Yeah. Oh man, like I can't. Also, like one of the people I saw it with was like, wait a second, was that his actual voice? Because like again, when he starts singing, it's like it's almost like one of those Disney movies where
he sounds 30 years older.
I know, right? It's phenomenal.
Like he's got that in him. It's great. Like it's just so fucking good. And this was all like written, directed, and produced by I guess Ryan Coogler, and I think like one of his friends and like close associates. Like this was all like in-house, and then Warner came, and then Warner Brothers was like, okay, yeah, no, we'll buy that up for distribution. Let's fucking go.
Apparently, they were having trouble with distribution for a while.
I don't doubt it. Like a lot of people that there've been a lot of personal investments that have turned into like large failures. Megalopolis being a big notable example.
Yeah. And the really cool thing about this movie is that after 25 years, all the rights will revert to Coogler and his family, which I think is phenomenal. I'm so glad that they were able to manage that.
And I love this movie. I want to see it again in theaters. You got this whole story with Smoke and Stack, who were World War I veterans, decided to leave the deep south of Missouri or Mississippi. I can't remember exactly which state they were in off the top of my head. and go up to Chicago, work with the Capone syndicate for a while. And I don't remember if they outright say it, but I think they robbed them because they come back with a lot of pilfered liquor and money.
Well, the thing was they were playing both sides apparently.
Yeah.
And that was it. The reason they had so much money is that they're playing both of them, and I thought that was really great. And
so they retreat back to try to start up their own thing, and probably get away from the mob heat.
Which, if they think that's not going to follow them south,
Well, it didn't matter.
yeah. No, ultimately, no, it did not.
They had the Klan to deal with, and then they were less of an issue too.
Yeah.
Ultimately, because a lovely Irish vampire decided to show up and try to drag as many of them into his clan as possible. Which, very interesting that they chose an Irishman to play vampire. Because they were very much subjugated in America and in Ireland, so they're kind of dealing with the same sort of cultural crap, so to speak.
So, okay, I don't want to read too much into what the message with the vampires were, because it is impossible to ignore the conversation about race, racial politics, systemic racism, the racism of the time, the just blatant, like, there's the KKK. You have so many factors going into this, and it's very interesting to me that, and again, I don't want to go into too much detail, but I don't think this is going to be too much of a spoiler. With the vampires, a big part of them is just join us. We'll all be this happy family together.
Yeah, this like trying to be this personification of a culturally appropriating melting pot.
And the movie itself is very upfront about the fact that, we can work together, we can be together, but we also have.
But you got to lose a part of yourself in the process.
Well, no, I was talking about like inside the juke. There's what was her name? She's played by Heather Steinfeld, I think.
Mary?
Yeah, she comes in there, and she
does. Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah, she doesn't belong there. Not because the people there don't like her, but because this is supposed to be a place specifically for minorities in the area to feel safe. This is a safe space for them.
But she was part of the community. Like as stated by the character, she's family.
Yeah, she's family. So her being there is like, okay, she can be here because she's close to us. All y'all, everyone else has to stay out. And that was like, okay, I see where you're going with this movie. Because the other guys are like, no, everyone has to. We can all work together. We can all be together. You just have to give up a part of yourself. And I was like, oh, okay. That's really neat. And just, I love everything about that. I love the setup. I love the way the vampires work. Also, I love the way that the movie plays very specifically with the rule of you have to invite them in. You don't see that in a lot of vampire movies. It'll pop up once in a while.
Yeah, I feel like the last time that really came up in vampire, like I guess Nosferatu played with it, like he needed to be invited inside. But the last time in media before that I can think of is probably oh god, what was the Colin Farrell fucking vampire movie?
Oh, what was that?
Yeah, it was a remake too. I just can't remember for the life of me. Either way, I remember enjoying it as a remake. But yeah, playing with that part of vampire lore is fun. The one question that I had off the top of my head that I don't think ever will be addressed is the first time we see the vampire, he's kind of running at dusk, trying to find shelter. Where was he before that? Because the sun was hitting him that whole time, and as soon as the dawn sun hits them, they fucking explode.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, because it looks like he kind of flies in a bit.
He's just kind of being chased by the Choctaw, who are just, I guess vampire hunters.
Look, I'm also very sad they never came back up. I was
a little surprised. I thought since they were like trying to get away as the sun was going down, like one or two of them were going to they might have had to take shelter at the Juke, and then they would be the ones to explain. But part of me is happy they didn't, because you don't just need an expository character.
No. And they, while I would have loved to have seen them come back if the story made that a necessity or would have benefited from it, ultimately it didn't. So when I say I'm sort of disappointed they didn't come back up, it's only because I would have loved to have learned more about them. Because the fact that they were already aware of like, hey, there's evil about, I'm like, oh, please tell me more. I need to know what's going on with y'all. But yeah, it was. Oh man, like, what a good movie!
It's so good.
Oh my god!
I've been listening to the soundtrack like nonstop.
Oh yeah.
But both the Irish jigs and the blues songs, just fucking fantastic. The Rocky Road to Dublin scene where they're just kind of dancing in a circle, and you see their like white eyes just kind of like glinting in the background as they're like dancing around this circle as the man's like river dancing in the center. Fucking great.
What they did with the eyes in this movie, that was so cool. It's such a simple effect, but they did it so well. And yeah, I didn't know that menacing Irish jig was going to be like the so haunting and so effective. I damn.
And Will Ya Go Lassie Go was also just like this. God, the music is just beautiful. They cast some amazing singers.
Yeah, it just. If you haven't seen the movie, IMAX. If you have seen the movie,
can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, if you have seen the movie and haven't seen it in IMAX, go back and see it in IMAX. It benefits.
I'm gonna try to see it IMAX. I got some things I got to catch up on now that I got my space free. But oh man, what a fucking film, dude! Like,
what a film!
It's going to take a lot to beat this year for me. I will be interested to see how the Academy treats this movie because they're usually very like ho hum on horror movies.
Yeah, a little bit. And this one, you know, but honestly, if Michael B. Jordan,
it is more than just horror. I'd say that like there are certainly horror elements to it. There are scary beats to it. You could definitely throw it in the horror genre, but it's more than that.
It's so much more. And if Michael B. Jordan doesn't get a nomination, at the very least, I'm gonna be furious.
Yeah, no, for sure. Although there is that other horror movie coming out later the year, Weapons. Have you seen the trailer for that?
I don't think I have.
Ooh. It's a movie where the script was so good that Jordan Peele fired his management team because they didn't get him the rights to the script.
What?
Yeah, and the trailer is really cool. It's like basically a bunch of kids kind of just get Pied Pipered out into the dark in the middle of the night. And that's the mystery. Why did they leave? Where did these children go? And they're all from one single class.
Huh.
In a elementary school.
Okay.
So there's this like big mystery, and it's getting nothing but like amazing buzz. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay. I'm also looking forward to him. Speaking of Jordan Peele, I don't know if you've seen the trailers for it.
Yeah. No, I when it comes to horror, I keep it's my favorite genre. I keep my head on a swivel.
A horror movie about professional football is so fascinating to me.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see because the trailers look suitably Jordan Peele weird, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, Sinners, beautiful movie. It's got a insane soundtrack, beautiful story, immensely horny movie.
Oh yeah, no, the amount of talking about eating pussy or just straight up eating pussy is like phenomenal.
I think back to the scene like you're drooling a little. You want some? Oh, goddamn!
Yeah,
probably the grossest thing I've seen on screen all year, but shit.
And yet, weirdly, like I get it
a little, right?
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I genuinely, oh man, there's so much like soul in this movie. There's so much heart. There's so much. Again, it's a movie about relationships, and all of these relationships feel so fucking rich.
It's so good that like the first nearly hour to 90 minutes of this movie has next to no horror in it.
Yeah,
like no horror elements. None of like the selling point of this movie to me.
And
it's still so good. It had me invested from that. And then the vampire stuff kicks in. It's like, okay, now we're doing this.
And none of it feels like it. Like I don't feel like the second half of the movie conflicts at all with the first half.
No,
everything
never feels out of place.
Yeah, everything feels like nope. This is right. This is how this goes. Yeah, I have no problems with this.
And now we just sit and wait and see what Ryan Coogler does with his blank check movie that inevitably Warner Brothers is going to give him because he just made them a lot of money. Like I think I think this movie had like a $90 million budget, maybe 100, and God, last time I checked, I think it was near 250 million gross gross box office. So
Yeah, I've heard that studios are pretty upset about this movie,
oh,
which
for real?
makes me very happy.
Look, man, we're having an indie renaissance, and I'm happy for that.
Hey, I want all of these big companies to fucking fail at this point. They keep fucking over directors. They
either need to fail or learn their fucking lesson.
Look, adapt or die, assholes.
Yeah, like that's the big thing, because as long as there is a space to get content out there, eyeballs is the name of the game.
I'm just
Butts
hoping that
butts and seats. That's the prize.
I'm just hoping that A24 doesn't become one of them, because A24 is out here desperately trying to get good movies to people, and they don't always succeed, right? Like, you know, not every movie they put out can be a winner, but they're trying so hard. And
They've been taking that Blumhouse model of throwing, you know, a couple million here and there at some smaller productions and then raking that back in. I think the biggest production they have funded so far was that Death of a Unicorn movie, and I guess that didn't do super well.
I heard kind of middling things about it, which makes me
really
sad.
I was really looking forward to it when I saw the trailer, but then, like, it came out, and I just did not have the time to see it, like a lot of people.
Yeah, and the buzz was meh.
Yeah, that really hurt it.
That's like, which, you know, shouldn't be the thing that makes you see a movie or not see a movie, but it is a little bit difficult to kind of justify, like, the time, the energy, and the money when you're like, well, this, like, people I trust.
Am I going to go to the movie theater and spend upwards of like $30 to see it if I want to get some snacks?
Yeah. Oh man.
Or am I just going to wait at home for it to drop on Amazon Prime and then I can pay $8 to see it?
Yeah, it's, by the way, like, I know it's been a long running joke that movies are too expensive to see in theaters, but wow, it's gotten so much worse. Yeah. But anyway, yes, see Sinners if you haven't seen Sinners. And if you've seen Sinners but not in IMAX, see it in IMAX.
Yeah. Totally recommend it. Ain't no qualms about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But beyond that, what did you guys think? Those of you that have seen either Thunderbolts or Sinners or just whatever we talked about today, let us know your feelings down below in the description. If that's, go ahead and write in our description. I guess.
Please. I want to hear people's theories on what those vampires represent and how they play. And
yes, this will be a great nuanced conversation in YouTube comments.
Yeah, I know the exact place you want to talk about these specific topics. No question.
Perfect things. Perfect answers. Either way, this has been the Talkcast Pod Show, and we will catch you guys on the next Talkcast Pod Show.
Later.
Goodbye.